It did several things. I want to find the article. I should have had this ready.
Look at John's face.
3 hours later.
And welcome back to the Riley Black Project with Crystal and John.
Hey,
How's it going?
it's going.
What do we got on the table?
So
That's kind of special. Well, first,
right?
Happy Halloween.
So funny story about these shirts. So I needed to do laundry, so I didn't have any like Riley Black or Lobo shirts clean. So I mean, they're literally in the dryer, but I can't turn them on because fun fact, our dryer's right there.
Right there.
So I was looking through my other shirts and I was like, oh, and I was going through and I saw this one. I was like, oh, perfect. It's the Halloween episode. Right. And then I turn around. You're literally right behind me because my closet is on your side
with
of the
my
bed.
Shirt over my shoulder.
And
because I said to myself, this is the Halloween show. Let me grab my Halloween shirt.
I did not even remember I had this shirt.
Straight for it.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even remember that this shirt existed. It was folded in nicely thanks to my organizer.
Right. Who leads us a great segue to Cielo Azul.
So she hit us up. Is this her sister or her cousin?
Shit, she hit you up. Remember. I don't. Oh well, it was in the group chat, right?
Yeah.
Continue and I'll look to see how she's related.
So I'm gonna open it. But what is their name?
Cielo Azul, which translated is blue sky.
So it's Cielo Azul Events. And the one on here is her Colombian Instagram, but she also made one for the US, but she ships everywhere. But she gave us one of these boxes to check out. Now, mind you, the box is super cool. It's cute. Like the graphic is cute. And then so you open it up. And obviously by the time you guys see this, it'll probably be pointless to grab the Halloween
the Halloween one, but they're seasonal.
She does them for all the like major holidays and stuff.
Her sister-in-law.
Okay. And so this cute little cup.
It says boo.
It says boo. And there's looks like marshmallows and Tootsie Rolls. And then I mean, if this is wine.
Is that wine? I think that is. That's one of the I don't know if I want to say the brand.
Sweet Red.
Look at the cap. Isn't it the Sutter Home?
It doesn't say.
Oh.
It says in California.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there's a S and an H. Yeah. So wine.
I know my wine bottle. I don't drink wine, but I know those bottles.
And then
because I used to get you those.
Yeah. Yep. And then some little cheese puffs, cute little, and some looks like some gummies.
Hopefully those are
the little. Graphics.
Hopefully those aren't special gummies.
They're probably not.
Yeah, they're probably not.
I think this is.
But it said California.
True. And then a little sucker.
Or a lollipop. However you call it. What do you call it?
You don't call it a sucker?
Nope. You call it a sucker. We call them lollipops.
Learn something new every day. But that's it. They're super cute. Oh, crap. I asked her how much too. And...
Yep, I got it right here. Hold on. I got it right here. I'm right on it. Keep talking.
20 something.
I think I scrolled past shipping. $25. $25 includes shipping all US.
Yeah. So check them out. They're super adorable. I want to order the Christmas one and see what's in that one. But yeah. So thank you.
Yes, and you can
Elise
check,
and
you can
sister-in-law.
Their she said the Colombian Instagram, right? Her Colombian Instagram is Cielo Azul Eventos, which is @CIELOAZUL_EVENTOS.
But she included there's
and then the other one there is the US one. I'm getting to that now. This one just says Cielo Azul Eventos as well.
No, she's
the 2 screenshots I got.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, well, we'll have to look. I'll post it in the show notes.
Yeah, because under the screenshot, she says this is her Colombian page, and then under that it says and US one too.
Oh.
And the US one. Okay. So they might be the same. Cielo Azul Eventos.
Yeah, they're super cute. Check them out. I cannot close it back. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. It's a nice gift box idea.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Mhm.
Adorable. What else do we have? Oh, I gotta read
All our shout outs for October.
shout-outs. We have some new people.
Oh,
And
welcome.
Although
And we
they don't fit
appreciate-
into the shout out category, I'm still
Mhm.
gonna shout out any of our $4. Sorry, this is making noise while I'm talking. Okay,
There we
all
go.
right, we're
It's
good.
done. It's good.
I'm
Mhm.
still gonna shout out our $4 members as well. I mean, I don't have their names on there, but thank you.
Yes.
Because every little bit makes a difference.
Yes, it
And I was telling John the other night when I was going through kind of just like our history
Mhm.
in the last few months. And it definitely kind of contributed to the funk a little bit. It definitely
Mhm.
didn't help. Not that it was the cause. I will definitely say that. But yeah, in May we started to like lose like one or two here or there, and
Right.
again, I expected it because memberships are the things that go first.
Yeah.
When people are cutting back on expenses. But yeah, we were losing like one, maybe two, then we'd gain one, but then we'd also lose one in
Right.
the same month. And this last month, I think we've had like six new patrons. So we thank you a lot.
Yes.
It means a lot. It definitely
It
helped
does.
my funk a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. And I just caught a glimpse of myself on the camera. I do not have mascara on. And a little note about
Neither
that.
do I.
I know he would never notice, and half of you probably wouldn't notice either. But if I look sick, which I've been told once before, a long time ago at my grocery job.
Okay, not like from the podcast.
No.
You look sick.
I was told, mind you, by the janitor who had a crush on me. I forgot mascara that day, and he was like, "Are you okay? You look sick." And I was like, "I forgot mascara." Okay. Anyway, I didn't put it on today because I'm going to get lashes today.
Lashes.
So I'm excited. They're a little annoying for maintenance, but I do like that I get to wake up and look like I did something with myself, even though I didn't.
They made that big of a difference?
They did.
Oh.
Yeah. At least personally. Whether it did to other people, it did personally.
Okay. And that's what counts.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
You feel good.
Yeah. So I'm testing them out to see if the positives outweigh the annoyances they give me, because I do like to rub my eyes.
Yeah. And I mean,
so losing that.
Yeah. So not even just even if you had natural long eyelashes, it's the same shit. They get in the way.
Yeah.
They really do.
Right. So yeah, but that's what I'm doing today.
Cool.
We were just talking about people with anxiety might understand this when you go to a new place.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it at all. Like we usually spend the night before Google mapping them, and seeing where they're located, what the parking is like.
Right.
Because if there's no parking, I'm out.
Right.
I mean, that's a hard pass for me.
And
usually.
Meanwhile, every day of my work life is going somewhere new.
No.
Oh, well, not every day, almost every day.
But like finding a new
place, a new location, because things happen in random spots and we don't always know where they are in news. So my days are spent by that. So yeah, but it's funny that we go to Google Maps to do that, because when I was a kid, when I first started driving, my mom would every time like I had to go to like my first day of like community college, we went that night before to where I had to go.
So your mom's like me.
Because there was no Google Maps where we could go virtually.
True.
So we would go physically to those places so that I wouldn't. So to give her peace of mind that I wouldn't get lost. Yeah. And getting there. So we would go the day before. The day when we had prom. Mm-hmm. We drove by because it was in downtown. Mm-hmm. And downtown is notorious. All downtowns are notorious for being like, a bunch of one-way streets. And if you go, if you make the wrong turn, you can't just go around the block because of one-way streets sometimes. Mm-hmm. So we went down there and found the place, and she's like, okay, that's where it is. So yeah, I've done that like my whole life. Yeah. Because she always goes the night before. You get it.
Yeah. It's well, and I mean, especially like Miami or like downtown Colorado, downtown Denver.
Downtowns, I think.
Yeah, it's just
in general.
Yeah, and this isn't downtown, but like I mean, it's more of like it's kind of like an industrial area.
Yeah, it's like behind a Home Depot.
Well, so what started the anxiety is I got a text from her saying, hey, here's the address. She's like, you go to the Home Depot, you go to the stop sign and you turn left after the Home Depot, go to the blue building, open the gate and go into the courtyard. And I'm like, all right.
I'm done.
Yep. Anxiety's through the roof. And you probably see me text messaging. So Heather is our guest today, and she thought it was at noon, and she's also been going crazy getting her house ready to sell. Right. So she had to feverishly get ready, but she pulled it off. So we're gonna have her on in video in a few.
And before we leave and get to Heather, I want to give a shout out to, I don't know if it's Stace.
Her name is Stacy. So she she claimed it in the group. She commented. She's like, "Oh, that's me."
Yeah, just wanted to say thanks on the show for those kind words that you left. The review. It's stuff like that gets us.
Oh, it made my day. It probably made my whole week. Right. Because who doesn't like to hear that you're doing a good job? Well, you know what I mean?
That we're doing a good job, and that you guys are resonating with what we're doing. Yeah. I mean, we're here. We love doing it. We love talking to all these people, to everyone who we have on, right, and everything. But we kind of lose track that people are actually listening.
Yeah, because you don't seeing if that really happen in the background. Right. And you get numbers, but it's not the same.
Well, it's just that it's numbers. Right. We get numbers. Yeah. But we don't know.
But if you don't hear anything, you're like, well, I hope they liked it.
Right. Or just, they're liking it. Fine. That's cool. But, the fact that, she wrote about anxiety and stuff like that, it's that it goes further than just listening. So thank you for those kind words, and thank everyone for watching and listening all the time. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yes, please.
We're close to 1,000. We're at 5.
We're almost 600, 594. So help us get to 600.
So help us get to 1,000.
Well, yes, and beyond. But And then also be like Stacy. Go leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, or comment on the YouTubes or whatever.
Yeah. And I think if you turn on that bell for some reason, it helps. I don't know, but do it.
People say it on other channels.
Yes, so we do it. And they also say something else that she doesn't like.
Smash that like button.
I didn't say it this time. You said it. So we'll be right back with Heather.
Okay, BRB.
And we're back with our guest, Heather Lynn. Welcome back. Hey. Welcome back to the show.
She scared me for a second.
Coming to us from her closet.
She pulled it together, quite magically.
Yeah. As best I could.
We were a few minutes away from recording, and I'm like,
and you look presentable.
Where's Heather? She looks great.
Half hour ago, I woke up, my hair is I was like this, and then my face was like this, and I was like, "Hey guys," and Chris was recording, and I was like, "What the hell?"
I look the same when I wake up, so believe me. It was funny. We were talking. I was reminding her earlier this week. I was like, "Oh, we have the podcast." She was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I remember."
Look at the calendar.
I was like, I go, but I was like, so get your hair ready, because she's a lot like me. I was like, get your hair ready, because it's video. And she's like, oh, we're doing video. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, but you let me do audio last time. And I was like, yeah, one-time thing. Get your shit together.
Yeah, audio just it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, it's hard. I might even take it out of my script where I say it's okay. Yeah. If you don't want to do sure, here and there. Right. But if you don't want to do video, it kind of because then we're just talking to
to nothing. And then when you talk, we're just sitting here
we can't look at you.
Yeah, and I can't show you in the video. So
right.
So your nails.
Right.
So Heather, from now on, when you're on the show, it's going to be video.
Yep. Well, that's what I asked her, I was like, are you questioning your bi-monthly involvement for the next year? She's like, no, it's fine.
He's like, all right, now I'll do it. I'm better at being live these days.
We're doing, we've done better going live. We'll go live randomly. Mm-hmm. We're going to have...
We were live last week?
Yeah, well, I didn't tell you yet, but we're doing a Riley Black After Dark next week.
Oh, we are?
Yeah. That's thankfully that's
you'll actually come with us this time, John.
Yes.
We'll see. We'll see who's on.
Now that I have insider info, I'm going to be there. Bell's on.
Yeah. Right. Let me okay. Moving on.
So that'll be a fun one. That'll be a fun one.
So
definitely stay tuned for that.
This week, if you are only here for laser stuff, I guess you can leave now.
No,
if you
don't
want,
tell them. Don't tell them that.
Let them yourself out.
Whole episode of they didn't talk about lasers.
Right? What? They never got around to it.
I mean, we might talk about
it. It's kind of part of our life, so it always
it'll sneak its way.
Actually, this is a good opportunity.
But it's Halloween, so
this is a good opportunity for us to do a quick shout out to our first ad sponsor.
Our first ad sponsor, Will Louie.
Mr. Will Louie.
That's right.
He's amazing with always supporting us. He was our first ever patron.
Yep.
And Anka did claim she wanted to be the first OG ad spot, but things changed business wise and she needed to focus on something else instead of what she was going to be launching.
Right.
So she passed the buck and allowed Will to be the OG ad sponsor. And he literally just signed up the other day, so he didn't have his script ready. So we're just winging it with a good old ad for
so if
Will.
You need blanks or keychain thingies.
Whenever he gets those fucking things listed, he still hasn't listed them.
He said he was gonna list it after. Anyway,
he said that a few times.
Wait. This is gonna be next week, so maybe he's listed.
Oh, that's true. Let's see.
So
but next week, no pressure, Will.
No pressure, Will.
Well, wait. He gave you a script. You denied it.
I did. It was one that is not one that you can air.
I mean, we can air it. We'll air it for the after dark.
It was very not airable.
There you go. It was very not airable. It was yeah.
And so blanks. I know he does blanks.
Yeah.
He does
so
hats now.
Well, it's all laser blanks. So hats, cutting boards, knives. Oh yeah,
I did see his pocket knives.
Bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Say knives so that it doesn't caption us.
The what?
You say knives so that it doesn't like.
No, I just feel like it's fun to say it that way.
Yeah.
But just in case,
do you speak the way you speak so they don't caption us?
No.
So I was just wondering if you were trying not to
shut it. Like when people when people who sell those on Facebook, they either add like a weird space in it or they spell it weird or
pointy sticks or like pointy.
That good old censorship on Facebook.
Is this the time we live in?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Remember the time that they censored me because I told Crystal that if I told her my
costume,
I was gonna have to kill her.
Yeah.
And then there we go. For the whole day.
No, this is not.
Now it's banned on
now we're banned.
YouTube.
Now we're banned.
Thanks, Heather.
That's it.
You are welcome. I mean, it's about that time for me to get muted again.
Right? It's been a year. It's overdue. Anyway, so if you want Will to fill your box, as he says, crazylaserdad.com. Go check him out. Soon we'll have a formal ad for Will.
Yep.
And I'm excited. So
me too.
Yeah, just to let everybody else know, if you sell blanks, that might be kind of weird. I don't know if you want to compete with Will. But if you sell materials, acrylic, wood, whatever, hit us up. They start at $20. And we'll get you out to our audience.
30 to 60 seconds.
All right. Now on to our story.
Yes, and since it's Halloween, you gotta have ghost stories.
Yeah,
it's good ghost stories.
And we got a good one.
So so it's funny. Our Colorado house.
Yes.
That house, man.
Well, so we used to live when you moved from Florida to Colorado.
Yes, you had your condo.
I had my condo, and we were in the condo for like a year ish.
Yeah, actually,
about a year.
Because it was shortly after we got married.
We were supposed to move into another house, and that house fell through.
Right. Well, yeah.
And then we waited about 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
And then the houses on the market that we could afford with the amount of space we wanted was shit.
Yeah, they were run down. They were pretty run down. It would take a lot. They're definitely fixer uppers.
Right.
And we didn't have any like fixer upper money.
Yeah. And so this one was still a fixer-upper, but like in the best shape compared to all the ones that we had looked at.
I remember it was, we went in and needed like a new water heater and new furnace. No,
we didn't even know about that. It had some plumbing issue. It was the disclaimer. There's some plumbing issue.
Right.
They didn't know how much it was going to cost. They didn't know how in-depth it was.
So we had a guy, did he look at it before or after?
I think it was after.
Or while we were in the negotiations.
During the inspection.
Yeah.
Because we still could back out.
Right.
We at least knew that we could back out if it was too bad.
It was only the shutoffs were bad.
They were like $150.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 shutoffs were bad. That's the only reason why the system wasn't holding pressure.
Which, funny enough, in the inspection is when we found out, okay, the plumbing issue that they're talking about is only $150, but you need a new furnace and hot water heater. So thankfully, because it was cheaper than what we had budgeted, we had like money set aside.
Well, we were because we were worried about the plumbing. We were worried about the plumbing, but the plumbing came in super cheap. But then our money
it went somewhere else. Yeah. It needed you scraped all the popcorn. Well, so we put in for a bid. It was the state owned it, I think, because it was like a foreclosure or HUD or something like that. And so we had to put in a bid for it. And so it's not like, when it's a buyer's market, when it's a seller's market, you can kind of like sweeten them up with like a letter or, we really want your house or like whatever. Well, there was no sweeten this up. It was literally just if you're the highest bidder or not. So you had to put in like as much as you were willing to spend from the get-go.
It was only like one, like you only had one chance to make an offer. Yeah. It wasn't like a bidding war.
No. It just went to the highest bidder.
Everyone puts in their offer by a certain date and the highest bidder gets it.
Yeah. And we were the highest bidder.
There must not have been a lot of bidders.
No, there actually was.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I think there was 5 to 10, if I remember correctly.
Oh. You guys bid too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about
it. So we won the bid. I think we closed on the house.
Right. And shortly after we moved in and everything like that. And I think maybe it was talking with neighbors or something like that. Then we found out like an old lady had lived there and she died.
I don't think she died in the home, but yes, I think the reason the house, like the previous owner, was an older lady who had passed,
and that's how it went to the state.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah, no, I remember about that because then, so we lived there. We had a bunch of like little like just weird things happening. We had the carpet was like wet in what was going to be your craft room, which is funny. Which was funny. It was supposed to be your craft room. She never crafted in there.
I didn't feel comfortable in
that.
We
decorated it
and
for
I didn't
crafting
know why.
And everything. Right. And then, so there was like this weird water seepage in her closet. And we even like opened a hole in the wall to like look back there. There was no reason. There was no rhyme or reason where the water was coming from. There was no water pipes in that closet. Nothing. So that was one. Another one was, again, water over by like underneath the stairs. Well, the grading was off, but there wasn't a hole in the foundation. And someone told us that
my friend said that there could be cracks in the cement, and basically when the ground is super saturated, then the kind of the concrete was like
sucking it up and bringing it in,
and then it didn't have anywhere else to go because it was like at capacity. So but that only happened once, and we fixed the grading.
Once,
don't talk about that one time yet. Don't get there.
Okay,
yet.
But it only happened once while we were there.
Yes. Yeah. So it happened once, and it was within like a few months or so. It was right after we put down new carpet.
Yep.
We were like, oh, great. Okay, ruin the new carpet, right? So then, there was things like it was a I think what's called a tri-level. Or a bi-level.
Wasn't it like garden level basement?
Well, so you come in, and if you come in the front door or the garage,
you either go
upstairs or downstairs right away. So there was no like middle floor, right? So I would never go down in the basement if it was dark. The like garden level basement.
Right. Which was our living room. Right. Our bar was down there. Our TV
that's
was
where our laundry was.
Yeah.
So like if early in the morning I needed to get
down there.
We did, but as soon as the lights were off, it was those reels and those whatever where like you turn the light off and you run up the stairs. That was totally
every time I run up anytime like basement steps that like somebody's behind you and you're like
right,
and you look back before you like slam the door where no one's there, but you felt like
and the worst part, there's no door because it was all like open, and so there's
just keep running.
Yeah. Exactly. And so and it didn't ever feel like scary. It just felt like a little uncomfortable. Like, no, I'm good. I'll wait until it's daylight, or I don't really need to wear that if it's down there and it's not light out. Because if it was light out, it was fine because there was windows down there because it was a garden basement. So there was still like
the little half windows.
The like half windows at the top or whatever.
And we were there for what, 4 years?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
So
and then like that back room. So in the back where my craft room was that I never went into, it literally just held my craft stuff. And then the room across from that was the guest room. Mm-hmm. Well, when you would take pictures in that guest room, there would be like a haze. It was like almost like humidity or like a cloudy or what it was weird. It was ghostly. So I would always chalk that up to like extra moisture because of that like issue that was in my craft room. And how about that one day when we were sitting downstairs?
Oh,
that's funny. No, it wasn't actually. It wasn't.
No,
thing.
But it was a few times. We'd be downstairs. We first moved in there.
Yeah.
We were watching TV, and every now and then we would hear what sounded like a kid's toy go off upstairs. Caveat: we didn't have JR yet. We didn't have any. It was just me and her, and we'd hear like a child's toy, like a little tone from upstairs.
Well,
and
we'd look at each other. We did have JR. It wasn't a sound from any of his toys.
We already knew what it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we chalked it up to it must have been a kid outside or something like that because it would happen during the day.
Like, the window's not open.
Right.
That's
whatever.
Really loud. It sounds like it's in the house. Whatever. But like we would write it off to like make us feel more comfortable.
We're upstairs. We're doing something and it goes off. It was the dishwasher. It was a Samsung dishwasher, and it plays a little chime when it finishes, kind of like our washer and dryer.
My dryer does that.
Yeah, it plays a little tune. Well, when you're downstairs watching TV,
we would always set the dishwasher and probably go downstairs and watch TV or go to bed or whatever. And so we realized it was several years.
Yep.
We had never been in
the room when it ended
or upstairs when it happened. And so every time we heard it, we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we're like, what's that? Yeah. So, but then we decided to move. And in the closing, I joked.
Well, no, don't get you're skipping stuff. So we're set to list the house. We haven't even listed the house yet, but we're finishing. We just painted the whole house.
The house didn't want us to leave.
It did not. And so it was 2 days or maybe even 1 day before our open house and before showings were starting. Mm-hmm. And I go outside on our deck. And
we had just painted the house.
Yes, I said that.
Okay.
So throw
that out.
There was this sketch lighting that was outside,
which wasn't sketched to us until this happened.
Right. Which we didn't even know it wasn't like to code. We didn't know there was any issues with it. Nope. There was a fire. There was a burn mark this big.
Yeah.
We're going to have to add that to I'm going to find it.
The picture?
Add the picture to the editing. So there's this burn mark this big.
Now you have to.
Over JR's window, mind you, which was terrifying because there was a fire on the side of our house. And thankfully it went out. But there was a fire and we don't know when.
Right.
And
well, no, we do because it was shortly after we painted.
Yeah, and because we had just recently finished painting. So then we had to figure out what the heck happened. So we took all that wiring down. We made sure that it wasn't like hot anymore or whatever. And then we had to repaint that section of the house before
I had to go to the corner of the house and rip up some of the like siding or whatever.
To take it as a sample.
To take it to Home Depot for a sample.
Oh my God.
Because the painters had given us the name of the paint, like the name of the color. I went and got like a little sample pack because that's all it needed, and it didn't match. So I had to go and take a piece off, go over to Home Depot, get the matching, and then what happened was the wire was exposed.
It didn't have a conduit. Protecting.
It didn't have a conduit. It was just exposed, and apparently, like we noticed that a staple had gone through the wire. Now, this had been there for 4 years and nothing had happened.
And how many years before we moved in?
Right. Well, but anyway, while we were there, how many times we were on that deck? I couldn't tell you how long for the lights on. Drinking and whatever.
It was our hangout spot.
Exactly. So why this decided to happen when we weren't out
Days
there
before.
Yeah. So I had to take off because it wasn't to code. So I had to take off all the cable and everything that went all the way back to our garage. And then I had to leave the lights there because if not, there was going to be a hole in the side. So I had to take the wiring off, but
and hope
put the
that they
light
didn't
there.
notice that the wiring didn't go.
Right. But they were, whatchamacallit? They were motion detecting. So like they wouldn't notice that it wasn't on.
Right.
They, you know, because no one comes to see the house at night anyway.
Right.
So yeah, I had to leave those lights there, even though I took off all the wiring.
So there was another one. How about we forgot when you came to Florida to look for potential houses without me?
But we found out what that was afterwards. It wasn't the house alarm.
Okay, but it was still.
It was a crazy. So someone told us that strange water that was in your closet.
Mm-hmm.
Someone told us that maybe the drain for the water heater, which was on the other side of that closet, maybe the drain clogged up and filled up with water. That we should put a water alarm there in case, so that way it would go off and we would know. And it was a good idea to have it anyway.
Went off
throughout the house
at midnight when I'm in the house alone. While John is in another state and just told me, good night, see you in the morning. And I know how this man sleeps. Okay.
Like a brick.
Like a fucking brick. And I couldn't figure, it was new. I had never heard the sound before, so I didn't know that it was that alarm. There was a really old, like, you know, those house alarms and like the old days that like it's a big old box and like that was like your alarm for the house. But it was like off. It wasn't plugged in. Like I unplugged it and like I even like pulled the wires out, like even if it was still and it didn't shut off. It was the most ear-piercing noise. And like, I'm like, JR is going to wake up. I'm not going to be able to calm him. If he's upstairs crying, I can't bring him anywhere near because this hurts my ears, let alone his. My friend was married to a cop at the time. I was seconds away from calling him to be like, come help. My anxiety was through the roof because it was like this horrible sound and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from and where to turn it off. And then when I finally figured out what it was, there was no water. So you can say that we know the reason, but
it wasn't wet. Yeah.
No, there was no water. It wasn't wet. Like
the house didn't want us to leave.
No. It's like you guys don't watch the show Friends, but there's an episode where Phoebe's
she watched it.
Yeah.
I don't want
the smoke alarm won't stop going. There's like no smoke, but the smoke alarm won't stop going off. And she's like, "What do you want from me?" Like screaming at it.
I'm pretty sure I was crying. I was a hot mess because like again, I was just alone in a house that's screaming at me in the middle of the night.
Once you have like something like it messes up like your thought process. You're like,
it's like having
a dream.
It's like when
you can't even follow it because it's like those like chirping like I would say in college you ever get like your fire alarms where you're like you just hear it and you don't exactly know which one's going off but something.
Well, and it was so loud. I just knew when I got closer because it hurt more. But it was so loud that I couldn't like figure out necessarily where it was coming from because by the time I would get close to it, it was painful. And so I'm like doing this, like trying. Oh my.
Yeah, awful. And I didn't know I couldn't do anything because I wasn't
you were
anywhere
2,000 miles away. Oh my god! Yeah. And then
the water problem came back. The seeping again happened.
So
by then we already had a buyer.
Yeah, so we were under contract.
Yeah.
It was like it wasn't going well, like with the selling. Like for some reason, you know, we weren't like we were getting offers, but they weren't that great, and they were like under like value or whatever. When like you know my friend who was the realtor, like she was. We priced it really well, at least you know we thought, and it just wasn't coming through. Yeah, and then maybe they knew.
We had already put in an offer to this house,
right? And if this didn't go through, then that house wasn't going to go through. And so our buyers were someone who sent in an offer, but they sent like a real like 30,000 under.
Was it 30?
Yes, it was under 300. Yeah, it was a slap in the face For sure. If it wasn't 30, it was
their first offer.
Their first offer.
Yes.
And when they submitted the offer, he said, I'm a contractor. I can fix this. I can fix that, fix it. And like lists out everything that's wrong with the house, which is not what you want to hear when you just put the amount of work that we put into that house from when we bought it.
Right.
And he was basically like shitting on everything that we had done or maybe not done yet. Right.
And
so it was like,
first of all, that's walking through my house next week.
He wasn't wrong though.
All this work you did, that's pure shit.
Exactly. And so it was like, I was like, sure, I want to move, but not for you. So so we didn't even entertain. Right. So we didn't even entertain his first one. I don't even think we countered it. We might have countered it, but we only went down like maybe 5,000 or something like that. But it was still early on. So it was like, no, let's see if there's other offers, whatever. And so I think we kind of just declined it because it was just such a ridiculous offer at the time. And they're like, oh, you don't even want to counter? And we're like, no, it's been on the market for a day. Like, we'll see how this goes, and then we'll go from there. And
we're not going to let it sit for 3 months, but we're going to give it a couple days.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And so then we got a couple other offers, and they were like ones where like it might not go through because it was like FHA and like, you know, a couple other things. And so then they submitted another offer, and it was a much better offer. It was still like 10 under what we wanted to be, but it was
because that's what I thought.
It was okay.
The offer was like our final.
Well, so the final offer was 305, which we kind of like for us was kind of like a
305 is the Miami area code.
Right. So it kind of like was like meaningful. I was like, okay, we can accept 305 because that's we're going to the 305.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we finally go under contract. And again, we're under contract with these sellers that we already, or buyers that we already don't like, but we want and need to move. So we're like, it's fine. And unfortunately, they were our best offer. So it's the night before our inspection.
Wait, is this, I already know this story. This is the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The night before our inspection, the water shows back up underneath
coming
the stairs.
Up from under, coming back up.
And it was so much water. And there was no way, there was not enough fans in the universe to dry up the amount of water that was under that.
And I had
There's no hiding it.
I had no extra carpet.
No.
Because we had some extra carpet in the garage from when they did the carpet.
Yeah.
Which is what I fixed your closet with.
Right.
And the mat underneath.
Right.
But yeah, there was no.
They were going to find it. There was no way.
No way it was going to dry in time. Yeah. And so we called the realtor. We're like, what do we do? And she's like, well, you're just going to
let them know.
You're just going to have to disclose that. So we did. And they were still, fine with it.
Yeah.
And we told them we knew what the problem was. It was the grading of the house. Like it was the grading.
Well, and it had rained for like, I think 2 weeks in a row right before that.
That's why it would happen.
Yeah.
So then we're at closing, and all that happened. We move forward with everything, and we're at closing, and we meet them finally for the first time. And I tell them while we're, after everything is signed, they have the keys and everything like that. I tell them jokingly, I'm like, okay, now listen, Gertrude doesn't like it when you party past 10 o'clock. Because Gertrude, she's really nice with us, but you gotta keep the partying under control because she doesn't like it when you party. Boy, I didn't know that Gertrude was real and that she existed.
And she really was mad that we were leaving.
And she was mean.
Like we thought all of these things were weird.
She was mean.
Don't get me wrong. We thought all of these things were weird. We would joke about it all the time that maybe there is something.
But she didn't have a name until closing. And
which is funny because my friend's house, I'll tell you after your story, but we named her ghost like immediately.
Yeah. So we told jokingly about Gertrude. We all had a good laugh at closing and everything like that. Gertrude did not like them.
Hold on, I'm trying to find.
Because they move in. They do.
I'm trying to find the article.
They move in. We come here and everything, and we like it's the first year, and then we go back to visit. It's our first visit. Now we knew we were friends with one neighbor, like really good friends with one neighbor. I think she even watched JR, didn't she?
Yeah,
for us one time?
A couple times, yeah.
Yeah. So we were really good friends with her. So when we went back to visit, of course, we wanted to see what the house looked like, and we seen that they had redone the windows outside, which was one of the things that we wanted to do but never did because it was like really expensive. So we're like, oh wow, they redid the windows, and then I think they did some stuff to the driveway too, like repair some cracks or something. So then we go see her, and she's like, oh, I gotta tell you what happened.
Well, no, she told me for some other. Maybe that might have been how it happened, but I felt like I asked her something.
I feel like
else.
The first time I heard about it.
She went to go. It had been months. It was only like months later. It wasn't even like a year or anything. She went to go try and pick up the lockbox like months later because she couldn't get a hold of the realtor or something, and then finally did. And the realtor was like,
but that's
I
Kelly.
have something to tell you.
Though.
Yeah, but I have something to tell you about the house.
Oh, so that was our realtor.
But I don't think when we went and saw. So which one are you talking about?
What happened soon? You got on the edge of their seats.
I know. I'm trying to find the article because that's the best.
I guess it doesn't matter who told us, but we found out that my man was downstairs. Kelly told us. Okay. My man was
no,
downstairs.
Hold on, no.
What?
Yes, you have to tell them.
You're telling it wrong. Okay, hold on, I'm trying to find.
I'm gonna kill the story. I'm gonna be like, dun dun dun, and here's what happened.
You cut this out. Oh, hold on. It did several things. I want to read. I want to find the article. I should have had this ready.
Look at John's face.
3 hours later.
So wait, while you're doing that, I'll tell my little story.
Okay, yeah, do that.
So my friend, actually ex-friend now, but my friend back a few, we're talking probably like 6 or 7 years ago. She bought her very first house ever. And it was really nice. 2 or 3 like real nice finished basement, real big area, has a big backyard. But in her house, so when you went into the kitchen, you would like hang a right and you could go down the basement steps. Like it almost looked like a closet, and then you just go down the basement steps. And then you know how like over steps, sometimes people have closets, like on the other side of that wall, just to kind of like fill that space.
Right.
So it was like a closet that was shaped as if it was steps, like on the backside, but it was like her pantry, let's say. And we used to say, like, we couldn't figure out why the pantry had these like steps in them when it could have gone all the way back, because the steps were like, there was plenty of room behind where they had these shelves. So we started out with like a really like, it was a joke about how
there's a dead body back there.
There's a dead body in there.
Right.
And then upstairs, they had like this weird like window bench that would open, but like it wasn't really like big enough to fit anything. And we would joke that the ghost would hide inside of there sometimes. But I named her Millie, and we joked the one day.
Do you know that I think this has happened before. Okay. That's what my grandmother went by, and is what is the nickname for my middle name.
So anytime that weird things would go off, or like if anything weird in the house happened, we would go, a Millie in here, a Millie in there. And it was just an ongoing joke, but like it became like a thing that like she never really had any like real ghost like instances, but because of the fact that we used to say it all the time, we would creep her out. So she would be like, you guys stop saying it. She's like, because now when I go upstairs and I see the back, like that kind of thing, she's like, now I think she's here. And it was just like a joke every single time. I was like, is it Millie? Like anything, if anything happened, we'd be like, Millie.
Did you find it yet?
Not yet?
Almost.
So when I lived in my first apartment by myself, before I met you.
How about the time that I met you?
Yes. We'll get to there because you probably won't find the article.
I know. God, I didn't realize it was this far back.
So when I had my first apartment, every so often I would hear. So I lived on the first floor, and there were 2 more floors. So I would hear like what sounded like a marble falling on tile upstairs. So I was thinking, oh, my upstairs, like they must have a kid or whatever. So yeah, she found it. I saw the arm go up. So
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
The build up and no.
Drew doesn't want you to tell the story. So I would hear this marble. I would hear this marble fall upstairs every now and then because the kitchen area was the only part of the apartments that had tile. All the units looked the same. So one day I'm outside talking to another neighbor. We're just kicking it, and the neighbor upstairs comes over and joins the conversation, and we're talking and this and that. And blah blah blah, and they're like, they were just a single couple. It was just the two of them came on the conversation with no kids, and I was like, I didn't say anything, but I'm like, now I don't know what that marble sound is upstairs. And then it followed me to my other place once we met, and I would hear my neighbor. This time it didn't come from upstairs; it came from a adjoining wall that we had. But I was like, they never have their kids. They did have children, but they never had their kids in their room from what I can hear when I was in my room, and because it's a shared wall.
Right.
So I would never hear like kids going on, but every now and then I would hear that stupid marble again. So I was like, oh, it must be like a kid ghost that I have.
So I come to visit him for the first time since we met in Vegas.
And you met
he's in the shower.
And I take long showers.
Yeah. And he was in there for forever. And all of a sudden, I hear this marble under the bed. And I'm like, I'm in a whole new area with like new animals. Like there's lizards everywhere. There's, you open a door and all these lizards scatter and it's like, oh, just
outside. You open a door outside.
But now I'm used to it. I'm used to it now.
No, I don't have a lizard room. Just to give
Just because the way you said you open a door and lizards run everywhere.
If they're in your house,
they weren't in the house.
No, but like your front door. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're walking past bushes, you hear them.
Yeah.
Now I really wish you had a lizard room.
Well, were you the one?
Was I the one?
When we were looking for houses that someone had a lizard room? They had like or was that when I was looking for houses?
No, that must have been.
Okay, so it must have been. I was looking for a house once, and I went into the house, and there was like a warning on the door because you opened it, and they had like a whole bunch of like reptiles and stuff.
The reptile room,
yeah. So anyway, so I'm laying on the bed because it was morning time or whatever, and I hear this marble going off, and I'm flipping the fuck out because this is not like. If it's moving, it's something like it's a mouse or a rat or some kind of something messing. Like it's big enough that it can play with a marble, whatever it is. And so I'm freaking out. I'm texting all of my friends back home.
Not a grasshopper.
Yeah, and so I'm messaging him. He's not answering me because he's in the shower, and I messaged my sister, I messaged Esther, I messaged like a few friends, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this is, but I'm not looking and I'm not getting off of this bed. And then he comes out of the shower and I was like, there's something under the fucking bed. And he was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, there's something under the bed. Like I hear a marble. It sounds like a marble. So he plays it off, gets his phone, gets a flashlight.
Don't see anything.
Looking around, and he doesn't see anything. So now I'm all freaked out. But then I had to move on because, But it was I think it was the last day I was there, thankfully, because that.
And then a little bit later, I tell you about
he told me. I was like, oh, you motherfucker. So anyway, okay. Now so back since to the article won't work, I think probably because it's several years old. So whatever. So we talk to my realtor and she tells me, oh, so I was talking to the buyer's realtor the other day, and they told me some crazy stuff went down in the house. And I'm like, oh yeah, like what? And she's like, oh,
about it.
So we ended up actually talking to the owners later when we went to go visit once. And there was actually more that happened besides this. And so there was little things like he was changing out the windows. As we said, they had new windows. Well, when he was trying to get the old windows out, one of them shut on his finger and like injured his finger. Mm-hmm. So that was the first instance. And then another instance was he was either cleaning the fan or changing the light bulbs in the fan. And the fan was was over the entryway. So you had to be on a tall ladder to get to the fan. He had turned off the breaker and everything. And when he was changing out the light bulbs, the fan turned on, and the fan blades like cut his forehead. So there was those two things, and maybe even other kind of like minor things.
You can get to the bulbs from the top, because I remember.
But so there was something he was doing with the ceiling fan.
You still had to get up there.
Yeah. So he was doing something with the ceiling fan. He turned off the breaker and everything. Well, it turned on while he was working on it and like cut his forehead. Well, it escalated when he was
Gertrude had enough.
she did. He didn't listen to the first few warnings. And mind you, he was a jerk. Like even at the closing, he was like not pleasant, not friendly.
Yeah, she was cool.
His girlfriend or whatever she was cool. She was really nice. And we actually kept in contact, here and there, like afterwards. Yeah, ish. And so he was a contractor, and he was doing work in the downstairs basement bathroom. And in that bathroom, there was a massive mirror. Like it was, the mirror went the whole length of the huge, like whatever, because it was also a laundry room. So, it was a big mirror. Well, when he was working, he claims that he wasn't taking down the mirror, but the mirror.
She was a nurse, by the way, right?
A vet tech. So he was doing some work in that bathroom. Well, the mirror broke. It severed an artery in his arm, and he was literally gushing blood. And if it wasn't for the fact she wasn't supposed to be home,
right?
But she was home, and he was literally bleeding out on the carpet downstairs, and he like was calling to her, and she had to like tourniquet his arm with his belt. And like
movie style.
Yeah. And thank God she was a vet tech and had some kind of like understanding of like how to help.
Yeah, because usually people don't tight it tight enough.
Right. Yeah. Or don't know. I'd be like, I think I'd eventually probably figure out I need to do a tourniquet, but I probably wouldn't be able to, I probably wouldn't do it right or whatever. So anyway, he's rushed to the hospital. He almost dies. He went through like crazy intensive surgeries. They had to like take like part of a vein in his leg and like put it in his arm to fix it. They had to do like skin grafts. So I think I wish the article would have worked because it would have told me all of that. But yeah,
almost killed him.
Yeah, so we went back once, and she was actually outside, and we were like, hey, we were visiting our friend down the street. Our realtor told us what happened, like how is he doing? And she's like, oh, he's doing okay. Like, it took him months to recover, and even then it wasn't like, you're not how you were before. So even now, like he has like some limited, I think, mobility or whatever from the surgeries and stuff. She's like, oh, he's doing better. But that's when she also told us that like the window thing and the ceiling fan thing, and we were like, oh, okay. Like
you were like, yes, thanks for buying my house.
Right? Like, it literally tried to kill you. I'm so sorry.
Kill him.
True. It did nothing to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably because he was a grump.
Yeah. I mean, so
he didn't get along with Gertrude.
When we were signing the documents, because you kind of hear a little bit of like their financial side because you're all in the room signing documents together. She only owned 20% of the house. And he owned 80. Yeah, it was this. They had a kid together and everything. It was an odd situation. Yeah. And I was like, if he would have passed, like, then what is she gonna do? Like, okay, so does she own that bedroom? Like, you only own 20% of the house or whatever the percentage was. It was really small.
The bathroom that killed him.
No, thank you. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. Let's Now this house, it doesn't feel like there's anything. And just things fall apart.
Jinxed it.
Listen, it's already there. The jinx on that was the guy who flipped it, who was
we just had a bad
flipper.
We had a bad flipper. Cut a lot of corners.
Right.
And we're watching.
Our house was built from the ground up, and they cut a lot of corners. I think it was
that's true. I've heard of people who buy new houses and who have more problems with new houses than
older.
Yeah, like our house was built in 91, and they they cut every corner possible, literally, like down to like cheap drywall tape that now is like separating because of like the humidity, like just shit. So now, like when because we're obviously you both know we're putting our house up, so our realtor saw like up in the 3rd floor loft, like in the closet, and like we got all the tape fixed that was like
visible.
Like, but not in the closets and stuff, because I was like, I'm not going through all that. Like, I mean, they're fucking closets. You want to make your closet look pretty, go right ahead.
Right.
I was like, I'll make it so that, like, when you come up the basement steps, like, the shit isn't peeling off, or, like, you know what I mean? But, like, they really, if you look at it, we were talking to our realtor yesterday, like, in our one, like, powder room, it's, like, sink, but then the mirror is, like, over here, and then the light's, like, over here.
Oh, my God.
There's no... Like the sink is centered, but the light is not centered to the sink, and then the mirror isn't centered to either one. It's just like dumb shit where I'm like, you built this from the ground up, and you put it in the center of fucking mirror, like
It's the feng shui.
Little things, like we're not even talking about drywall here. We're talking about centering a hanging mirror.
Yeah. Well, and then I mean, you're probably gonna go through whenever you guys start looking for your next house. You're gonna find. Oh, remember? How about when we were looking at the house, we didn't realize that the bathroom door was missing until the inspection.
Yeah, I thought it was like a pocket door.
Yeah, I'm reading over the inspection, and they're like, door missing in downstairs bathroom, and I was like, the fuck?
But like, just like missing door, or like it wasn't like made to have a door.
No, it was missing the door.
Missing. Yeah. I was gonna say like they like straight up built a bathroom with no door, like that's
no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and so then I was like, really? Like, and again, I'm reading over this inspection. I was like, how did we miss that? And I mean, you take in so much when you go look at the house. It's easy to kind of like miss stuff because apparently you know, like.
But like you said, like if you assumed like, oh hey, it was just open, like maybe it's a pocket door, or like you were just walking by.
I didn't even notice. You know, and I mean that bathroom, like again, it was crazy because like it was black tile, and it was like all the way up the wall, and it had like the huge mirror and like the laundry room. I think I was just taking in everything that I didn't even think it was a pocket door. I just didn't notice the door was gone. And so then I go back and I look at the listing photos, and I'm like, sure as shit, there's no door. And it stayed like that for how long? For like probably a year or two.
Until my brother and sister came to visit, and we're like, this bathroom probably needs a door
because they're gonna shower and like and for us it was like, okay, we just
and then I figured out that you can't just buy a door.
No.
You gotta buy the whole door.
That's fun, isn't it? We just figured that out too.
Yeah.
Replace our bedroom door in that.
No, you got to take down the whole frame.
You got to hang a door
and shim it, and
the shim is what we like. Because of how much our house has settled since they put the original doors in.
Right.
Our one doorway, of course, the one doorway that we needed to replace the door, because Bud decided to punch a hole in the wall of one of them.
Good job, Bud.
The year after we moved in, like we're like putting it up. I'm like, like we've been avoiding this whole situation, right here. But like we really need to replace the door. Like,
right.
So he goes to replace the door, and like he buys like the standard size doors like that matches exactly what my door, like what our door measures, and he like puts it in, and it's just like right into the wall.
Right.
I was like, wow, that's cool. Like, we need this to actually close. Just enough time.
Well, and I mean, so I think we even had our remember the Halloween party where we hung up a shower curtain as the we put like a bloody those fake bloody shower curtains. We put that up as like the door. Like, oh, it's decor, and now you have a door.
And we remodeled the upstairs
decor.
We remodeled the upstairs bathroom.
That was
like the whole like we did the whole bathroom.
Gut. It was
we did the whole bathroom. Everything.
The toilet didn't even work.
The only thing we left in was the tub, but even that we resurfaced.
Right.
So we found this great cabinet vanity thing.
Yeah.
Installed it. Everything was great. And then I go to like, everything's done. We go to the foot. We put everything underneath.
He's showing me, and I was like, "Good job, babe. It looks awesome."
Right. So we're putting, our stuff back into the cabinet, and I go to open the side drawer, and the molding to the door,
and we couldn't even
doesn't open. So
not even enough that you could put that you open it halfway.
No. It was like it was
like you got something in there, you were never getting it out.
Well, listen, you can get it in. What you had to do was open the main one and go under and in.
So that's true.
Way. And then you could only put stuff in the top
secret drawer,
not the bottom one.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
Good place for a secret stash. For sure.
I was like, oh, I guess we didn't think that through.
I guess we won't use those drawers.
Well, that's how it was, and that's how it was. We never used those drawers.
It sucked too because the bathroom was tiny, so there was no storage. Yeah. So anything you needed had to be like in the hall closet.
Only the other two drawers on the other side of the cabinet were used.
Yeah. Were there drawers on it? I don't think no, because it was 3. I think it was 3 drawers on that one side, and then just the cabinet.
Just cabinet. Okay. Yeah, so those drawers didn't open.
And the worst part is, I think there was an option to put the drawers on the other side.
No, I think we could have bought. We could have bought the model that had the drawers.
That's
on
what I mean.
Yeah.
There was an option.
Yeah, we didn't take it.
Nope. Whoops. Yeah.
Didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about it when we bought it. Yeah.
Right. But yeah.
Any more ghost stories?
No.
No.
Not for me. We had like little instances at my mom's house. Like,
what about? There's one that happened in this house.
Which one? This house? My house?
Yeah, something with the ring in the bathroom or something like that. Something with your bathroom. And where you knew that Logan couldn't have moved it, but it was moved.
Are you talking about the jewelry at my mom's house when my friend Danielle left it upstairs and then it was downstairs?
No, something happened in this house because I remember you thinking it was really weird and you were like freaked out and you thought like might be your dad, but like you don't believe that stuff and like I forget what the details behind it were, but something with your bathroom and this house.
I don't remember. I do remember at my mom's house, my friend Danielle, she slept over one night, and we were upstairs. I had like a trundle bed with like the day bed that like pulls out from like underneath. Mm-hmm. So she was sleeping on the lower mattress, like the one like to the ground, and she like took off all of her jewelry and put it next to her like on the floor. And when she woke up in the morning, it wasn't there. And when we were like, she's like, "Did you move my stuff?" And I was like, "No, I didn't move. Like, I was asleep."
Why would I move your stuff?
Yeah, like, move your stuff. And she's like, "My jewelry was right here." And I was like, "Okay." And she's like, I was like, again, I'm sleeping. So, and we went downstairs and it was in another room on a bureau. All of it. Like,
so weird.
I was like, what? And then I think it was like the same week, I had one of those old school, like 4 metal poles with like 5 glass shelves. Mm-hmm. Like the old, like where you would just put like, so I had a TV, like one of the TV VHS and it was on like the middle glass shelf, and the glass shelves were probably only like, I don't know, like 2 feet by like 1 foot, maybe, like they were like real small. And we were upstairs, like the TV was on the glass shelf, like just as I would normally watch it. And we were in the kitchen one day and we heard like this like thud that sounded like something really hot, like something fell. Right. And we were like, what the fuck was that? And we're like looking at, like we went in the living room, looked around. I'm like, I don't see anything. And we went into my bedroom. The TV was on the ground, but it wasn't face down. It was like almost as if somebody picked it up and placed it on the ground. And the glass shelf was as if somebody lifted it and took it and leaned it against like the pole on the shelf, like
not broken.
Yeah. And I was like, and the TV was fine. And like the shelf didn't break. Like it literally was like as if somebody like took the TV off the shelf and like dropped it on the ground.
Yeah.
And then leaned the shelf like up against like the one thing. And like me and my friend I was like, we're leaving. Like I was like, we're not staying here today. Like I was like, I don't even know how to explain this. And we literally just left. Like, because at that, like my parents were divorced, so like I was like, go back to my dad's. Like I'm not sleeping here tonight.
Right.
Never explained. Like we were the only 2 in the house. Like nobody else was there. Like never explained But it was around the same time that her jewelry got moved too. So we were real.
You're like, all right, that's enough.
Like, I might not believe in this shit, but maybe I do now. Like, I'm out of here.
You're kind of forcing me to. Can you leave me alone?
The more I said, like, I don't believe in that shit, the more they were like, hold my beer.
You're like, are you sure? Shit. I'm going to move this right here. Yep. And do we have any closing laser talks? Speaking, so I'm sure we've already lost people by now if they care about lasers, but I might try lasering some of those new JDS plastic cups, like Halloween something as like kind of favors to give to people. You know, typical me, super last minute doing things that I shouldn't do when I have other things that I need to get done.
It's tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it's a good thing we brought in those costumes because I think I heard rain.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I was putting there.
That's a laser. That's laser talk, but it's still in the box. So
the what?
My fiber.
Yeah, she got a fiber. FOMO. I see the FOMO on your face.
Not really. It's still in the box.
Yeah, but still, she's at least has it in her possession in a box. I know I have.
Blood started Lobo welding.
Oh. Mom's here. Go get him.
Well, okay. We're back.
Okay. Mom, yeah, JR and Mom have arrived. I'm surprised we can't like. Yeah, his mom usually stands at the door and like texts, but it takes her forever to text because she's old. And by the time she sends a text message, I've already gotten the notification from our cameras and I'm already unlocking the door before she can even send it.
I think
are they coming? JR, come here. Come here. What you got? What's that? Come over here. Careful with the cords. Let me see.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese. We can't see you. There we go.
Hi, JR. I was just going to tell Logan to come up and say hi.
Yes, you do. Who's that?
You do.
That's Heather. What does this do?
It doesn't have batteries.
Thank goodness.
It lights up, I think.
Oh, okay. Hopefully it just doesn't make noise.
Logan.
Here, go on. Like.
Come here.
There. Oh. Go sit on Daddy's lap.
Logan Robert. Come here, baby. Come here for a minute. Up here, babe. In Mommy's office. I just want you to say hi.
You hear?
Okay. I want you to come say hi. Here, please, sir. Come here. Sit on my lap.
Hi, Logan.
Hey, Logan.
Hi. There's JR.
Hi.
It's almost your birthday.
It is almost your birthday. Hey, when's your birthday?
November 3rd.
And how old are you going to be?
I'm going to be 5 in November.
And JR just turned 5 in July.
Oh.
Did you, JR?
Yeah.
Say happy birthday.
Hi, Happy birthday.
JR shy.
They're having a costume party tomorrow.
Yeah, you are. You're not talking.
You're not shy?
I'm not shy.
You want to go to their Halloween party? So they're in Florida, babe.
Oh.
Where are we moving to?
We're moving to Florida too.
Yay! You can come to the party next year.
Ooh,
come on, Mom. You want to say hi to the camera? It's a whole family affair. Say hi.
Hi, how are you?
Lean in.
Hi.
Hi.
They can.
Oh,
we
really?
can't see her.
Oh.
But we can
There
see
she is.
Hi.
Did you guys have fun at Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah.
Jeez, that's pretty cool.
Halloween before time.
No, this comes out on Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hi.
All right. Well, with that family thing, it's been another great episode of the Riley Black Project with Crystal and John and the family.
And everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Mamie, we're all done.